Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the page. Today I'm giving you my top 3 overrated and underrated players in the NHL. And let me just get this out of the way. If I call one of your favorite players overrated, I'm not saying they're garbage and should be out of the league. I'm just saying their public perception is higher than it should be. Let's start it off controversial. Let's hold back no punches. My first overrated player is Victor Hedman. He's somehow going to win the Norris this year, despite having one of the worst years of his career. Don't get me wrong, Victor Hedman has been one of the best defenders this entire decade, but this past season, he was just not very good. On 5-on-5, he was a massive liability and mainly just wrapped up all his points on the power play. By advanced analytics courtesy of Jay Fresh, he was just an average defenseman this year. It's absurd he's going to beat out guys like Makar and Fox for the Norris. Up next is going to be another controversial one because this guy has like a cult following, but Patrick Kane, this boy right here, NHL 10 cover boy, is one of the most overrated players in the league. He is genuinely possibly the worst defensive forward in all of hockey. I get he puts up over a point per game, but if you're allowing more goals than you score, you're a net negative player. And that's exactly what happened this year. His main line was outscored in expected goals by a decent margin. And the same thing goes with Kane as with Hedman. He was a top 5 player in the entire league a couple years ago, but now that he doesn't have a defensive center like Jonathan Toews to hide his defensive flaws, they become more transparent. And last but not least, this should not be controversial in any manner. Tyson Barrie is an objectively horrible defenseman, and we gotta accept that. The dude had impressive point totals this year, don't get me wrong, but it's mainly just because he quarterbacks a power play with Leon and McDavid. And on defense, to absolutely no one's surprise, he is god-awful. And the sad thing is, some dumbass GM will give this guy 5 years, $5 million, and I feel so bad for the fans of that team. Because he already sucks at age 29, imagine him at like 33. Okay, I had a great time absolutely ragging on those 3 players, but now let's get a little bit more positive and get into the underrated guy. Up first, I feel like some hockey fans don't even know that this guy exists, but Andrew Mangiapane is an absolute beast. He's a great two-way winger that finally got a decent amount of ice time and really proved himself this season. I honestly don't think it's a stretch to say next year he will be the best skater on the entire Flames team. If he gets as much ice time next year as guys like Lindholm, Monahan, and Gaudreau, I think he's a lock for 55 plus points. But knowing Daryl Sutter's old ass, he'll probably be playing like third line with Backlund and Lucic because he has to earn his stripes. Next up, we got Jack Hughes, and his strides from his rookie year to sophomore year was something like we've never seen before. I mean, he was objectively horrible his rookie year, putting up barely any points and being an absolute liability on defense. But after putting on like 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, he went from a horrible defender to one of the best in the NHL. And that's because this guy became so good at taking away the puck and also entering and exiting his zone. I know the point totals aren't very impressive right now, but I think this has to do with the lack of talent on New Jersey. They're a young and growing team. I expect next year at least 60 points from him. If the NHL had a Most Improved Player award, I would absolutely hammer Jack Hughes. My third and final pick for underrated goes to Mackenzie Weegar. This guy is a top 20 defenseman and no one talks about him. Not only is this guy one of the best defensive defensemen in the entire league, he also worked a ton on his offensive game and put up 36 points this year. This guy was a freaking 7th round pick and is probably going to get Norris votes this year. What a development. People might hate me for this take, but I think he might be more valuable to the team than Ekblad. Okay, so that's my list of overrated and underrated players, and I will die on the hill of Hedman and Kane. Debate me in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that shit, and I'll see you in the next one.